I never thought I'd be sat here talking about Harry Maguire to West Ham United. I mean, at one point he moved from Leicester City for £80 million, and at the time it was a record signing. He then had this period at Man United where he was okay, he was good, became club captain, and then he just fell off. He just completely fell off a bus, and I think a lot of Man United fans have thought that Maguire's just not good enough to play for him. A lot of them want him to leave, and I think with De Gea leaving this window, he probably is quite likely to leave. It seems like his time. And to be honest, he's always been quite of a banter. I don't know about you guys, but I've got a lot of mates who are Man United fans, and he's always been a series of banter. Like how does he play for Man United? Same with McTominay at times. You get these sort of players who you just banter your mates about. And Maguire's definitely been one of them. Almost like a meme player at times with some of his let's call it interest in defending. But it has come out, and I know Mark did a video just yesterday that we are interested. We are interested in Harry Maguire, and it has just recently been broken by Jacob Steinberg that we put in a loan offer for Harry Maguire. Now that has been rejected. It's a smart move in my eyes, a loan move for Maguire. It makes sense. I think Moyes is going to want a change of system this season, and I'm going to do a video on that later this week. But he is. I think we are trying to move potentially to a back three, and I think Maguire is part of those plans because of how well he plays in that back three for England. It's not something Man United ever really wanted to move towards. It's something Moyes has wanted to move towards at least the back end of last season. The back end of the previous season and the beginning of last season. It's something that Moyes has definitely wanted to move to, and with the injury of Maguire, it just got put on hold. Then he tried it halfway through the season; it didn't necessarily work. But regardless of that, we have had the loan move rejected, and it is thought that we are going to be priced out of a move for him, that it would be too expensive to sign for West Ham. Now, I don't mind that personally because there are other centre-back options available. He is 30 years of age, so if we were to sign him on a permanent, I can't see Man United turning down. I can't see them accepting anything below 40 million, to be honest with you. They paid 80 million for him. They're not necessarily in a rush to sell. I don't think they'd accept 30 million. I think 40 million would be what they look for Harry Maguire. And for someone who's 30 years of age, for someone who realistically is on a downward spiral in his footballing career, if you take away what he's done for England the last couple of years, 40 million pounds is a lot of money, and everyone kind of writes players off when they get older. Jesse Lingard, I think he was like 29 when he joined West Ham on loan, and he was incredible, and I wrote him off when he first joined. I know many other people on social media did. And it was kind of, again, Lingard was a bit of a meme sort of player for Man United. And when we signed him on loan, everyone took him seriously again, and he was absolutely brilliant. And obviously, we know what happened with that situation. He didn't sign for a permanent. Man United tried to rinse us for all the money they could get out of him. That didn't end up coming to fruition. But with Maguire, I think a similar situation. I actually do think he would play quite well for West Ham on a loan deal. But I just can't see them accepting any sort of bid below 40 million. I think that's just way too expensive for David Moyes. Obviously, Man United have not given a valuation of Maguire yet. They haven't said they're going to sell him, but with his captaincy being stripped at Manchester United, I think that's probably every indication you need that you're basically not in the manager's plans. He could sit on the bench and still be the club captain. He can even sit on the sidelines and still be a club captain. The club captain is just an official title. The person who's on the pitch does not need to be the club captain. He's been there for the past 2 years, and it makes sense for Ten Hag to want to go out and buy his own captain or give his own captaincy to somebody else. I'm not arguing with that. But I think if you're being stripped of your captaincy, it's pretty certain that you're probably going to leave. And I think that's probably a little bit embarrassing as well for Maguire. He's taken it very well. He's taken it on the chin. He took to social media and did a nice little post about it. But I feel like if you get stripped of your captain, it's a bit like you're getting demoted, aren't you, essentially? So, if you work, wherever you work, and you get promoted to this position, and then suddenly you get demoted, that's basically an indication that they don't think A, you're good enough for this position, and then B, are you really part of their plans if you're getting demoted? They can't have that much faith in you. They can't think you're as good as you used to be. For me, I think that is just an indication that you're not being valued by your employer, and that people forget that that's what football is. Yeah, they're football players, but Ten Hag and Man United is Harry Maguire's employer, and they basically just demoted him from the captain of the club down to just a normal player. So I think he's not part of Man United's plans, and I think that's very clear. So they could be looking to cash in on him, and we don't know how much they're being valued by Man United. But as I said, Jacob Steinberg has said that Harry Maguire would essentially be too expensive for West Ham United to sign for what we would value him as. And it is a really big shame that they rejected the loan move, because I think that's a win-win for Man United. If he went out on loan and he played really, really well for us, that's a plus for us, because obviously we get a player who's playing really well, and we might look to sign him in the summer when A, we've got a bit more money, and B, maybe he wants to push the move for West Ham. And if it doesn't work out, then they've got Maguire off the books for a little bit, and they can sell him the next summer. So I don't really see why they would reject the move. I actually think it's almost naive of West Ham to go in and do that again, considering we took Lingard from a player who was down on his luck at Man United and was essentially playing terribly, to someone who was then, back in the fringes of, I could get back in the first team. We did Man United a massive, massive favour with that. So the fact that they haven't accepted that is actually quite surprising to me. And I wonder if there'll be another two. I do think no matter what happens this window, regardless if we do put a bid in and it is rejected, I think at some point this window, Harry Maguire is going to reappear in West Ham's plans. Perhaps he's going to, I think if another loan deal maybe was put through at the end of the window with a buy clause or something like that, maybe United would accept that. And it's crazy that I'm actually sitting here thinking that Harry Maguire would be a good fit for West Ham, but it does depend on the change of the system. He doesn't work in a back four. He's not getting ahead of Aguerd. He's not getting ahead of Zuma. So if we were to buy him, he would be a huge risk for me, unless we're moving to that back five. But again, we don't have enough centre backs to cover that back five. So I see where West Ham are going with this. It makes sense, but at 30 years old, for whatever price, like I said, we haven't got a price even discussed. I wouldn't know what the price is. I would assume that Man United would accept something in the region of £40 million, and that is simply just based on an educated guess. That's got nothing to do with X or Jacob Steinberg or anyone. They have not put a valuation on Maguire. The only thing that we have heard is that he would be too expensive to sign if we did look to get him on a permanent. But so for now, it looks as though the Harry Maguire deal was off. Who knows? We might test the waters with a bid, but it's seen that would likely be rejected. But I definitely think this is one to look out for in the window for a West Ham fan.